Good morning, and welcome to the dawn. Welcome to the western side of Djuma and a little young fork-tailed drongo that's probably only just recently fledged from the nest. You can see the tail feathers are starting to grow out, and it's still got a little bit of a paleness to the body. Definitely practicing its early morning calling. Oh, just like that, it's taken off. There were two adults in the tree just above. Hello everybody, my name is Steve and I'm joined by Olaf on camera, and we're out and about on the western side of Djuma trying to see if the Talamati pride decided to come back in last night, and so far we've had no success.
It's probably really comfortable though, if you're a battlier, that is. We've been sitting here for maybe 5 minutes or so. And no movement, no nothing. I mean, obviously it's very tricky for us to see, but normally if there's a wriggly little fluffy chick in there, you would see something.
Easy to identify the Swanson spurfowl by the red face, the red throat, and the male loves to sit on a high perch and call. I went on a trail into the Outeniqua Mountains, into Outeniqua Forests in October last year. Splendid call. And we had an Arena Trogon join us on our trail, which was quite special, on our first afternoon as we were just entering into the forest.
Birding kind of morning indeed. We have our resident, well actually resident's not the correct word, our summer resident Wahlbergs here. I don't know if this is a male or a female because there are two pairs that we follow. And in the two pairs they're the opposites. The female's the pale, the male is the dark morph, and then in the other pair it's the opposite way around. The female's a dark morph and the male is a pale morph. Look at that lovely little mohawk. The wind is blowing from behind and sticking that tuft of feathers right up, and it looks like a mohawk. It is a knobbed-billed duck, but the reason we stopped, look at the colour palette, the sort of grey skies, the black and white contrast of the bird, the dark tree. It's just beautiful. This is definitely the male, goes without saying, and this is he's in his breeding time. His comb, as they call it, is very full, it's very big.
Look at this little beautiful thing unfolding here. I'm going to gently climb out of the car so they don't create too much shake. And just look at this. I'm trying to get out of the car because we're going to have to zoom in quite a bit here. And those are tiny little frogs. But you're going to see a number of them coming from left to right. And it's a pity I can't really get any closer. That's quite funny. I've counted more than 100 now that's already crossed the road. So the question is, why did the frog cross the road? Right, what's happening here, ladies and gents? There's a small little puddle to my left, which we cannot see now. If you remember last week, could have been last week, we had that beautiful time with those bullfrogs. And this is exactly what you see now. These are young tiny bullfrogs, and you can't really get a perspective on how small they are, but they're about that big. Tiny African bullfrogs that's hatched in the pond. Tadpoles, they've obviously developed into fully grown baby frogs, so they're not tadpoles anymore, but they're still going to grow. They're going to grow to about the size eventually if they're males. Big frog. But those are bullfrogs. Remember that a female bullfrog can lay 2,000-3,000 eggs easily. So you get swarms of these guys emerging the moment they get to that stage. Sort of juvenile frogs.
Hypnotic tadpoles. I think these are the bullfrog tadpoles. The big, sort of larger sized ones that are really black or dark brown in colour, the bullfrogs. Wow. That is a cuddle puddle. Not a hairy one, but it's still a cuddle puddle.
Thanks, Lauren. Well, we decided to stop and do a few more flowers today, everybody, because, well, they're around and it's a good time of year for flowers. Now, many of you have probably seen this one before and you know what it is. And the English name is directly translated from the Bushman Khoisan name and directly translates to snakebite bush, which is quite an amazing name if you think about it. The Khoisan used to name plants after what they were used for. And so they didn't give them names like we give things names. They gave them names that were relevant to their understanding. So when you hear the name snakebite bush, you think to yourself, goodness me, that's quite a mouthful. But indeed, the plant itself, if you dig up the roots and you burn the roots in a metal pan and you get ash from that, was applied directly to snakebite injuries by the nomadic Khoisan tribes moving through southern Africa. And this plant is a bit of a ground creeper, and we're keeping with sort of the idea of soap, and this plant is very well used as a soap. This is the large devil thorn, but before we get into that, have a look at this wonderful flower, this purple pink flower here with these dark lines, which acts as sort of a landing strip. If you had a UV light, I'm going to let it go because I think I'm shaking too much. There we go. If you have I'm going to put my knife over here because the knife seems to hold it. Sorry about that. The knife holds it quite nicely. There we go. So if you put a UV light over here, you would probably see like a landing strip, like what we see when we're coming down in an aeroplane to land, and insects, nocturnal insects, would come and land in here. It's getting very windy. Sorry about that. Land in here, and then on top over here are the little male parts. This is the pollen that will then rub off onto the top of the insect's head. It's gone all the way inside to feed on the nectar at the bottom, and it rubs this pollen on its head and then goes to another flower, transfers the pollen to another flower. So very, very nice coloration. Well, a morning of flowers, and here we've got the beautiful and lovely pink of the wild sesame blowing in the wind, and wild sesame from a sorry, I tried to hold it before, it was making even more movement, so hopefully it doesn't get too hectic. But it can be made as an aphrodisiac if it's mixed with milk and yogurt, either milk or yogurt. You slightly warm it up, it turns to nice flavorful sesame flavored milk. Gets a little bit sort of creamy. The roots have also medicinally been dug up, burnt and dried, and mixed with Vaseline and applied to an area of a snake bite.
Oh, finally, we have found a nice big old elephant bull. Well, not an old one, but it's a big bull. So no catch yet, but I'll take an elephant any day. Just a bit of a recap of what we have on the show so far. Ooh, before we do that, let's just check what this guy's up to. Just a bit of a head shake there, just telling us, I see you. Don't come and do something stupid. We are okay. He's not aggressive. We are obviously heading into the last moments of this morning safari. But remember, this afternoon, we'll have another opportunity to jump aboard and experience the splendor of the bushveld and nature around us on a live safari. So make sure that you have a date with us this afternoon on SafariLIVE. And maybe, just maybe, we might get some cats. I've heard a little rumor that there might be some leopard movement around on Pridelands. So just scanning around. It's not here, but you never know. You never know. Well, I'm hopefully going to get some cats this afternoon. I'm going to actually keep my fingers crossed. I've got a little sneaky hint where a leopard might find itself. And that's exactly what I'm going to do this afternoon. So make sure that you join us this afternoon. And basically then, that will be the plan for the afternoon.